And it is the 31st. Holy smokers. Wow. We're literally going to be in April as of tomorrow. That is insane. Time is absolutely zooming. Unreal. And that actually brings up a point that we are now a 1 year away from the Bitcoin halving. So it's like within, you can like see that light at the end of the tunnel. We can finally say that the halving event is only 1 year away. And as you know, every single real bull market has begun before the halving, not after. It's actually technically started before. So that's exciting. That's good. That's good news. Yeah, I'm very, very, very happy about that. All right, let's do share screen and get started. All right, let me try to get this into a size that comes up a little bit more clear on your screen. I think that's a little more clear for y'all. That's really not how I look at it. I keep my window. We're going to be working on the right side of TradingView mostly, so I may actually enlarge this a little bit more, but hopefully you guys can at least see where my cursor is and stuff, I think. Okay. I'm always so unsure how clear this comes out on Telegram, the video, but anyway. Let me see here, make sure my volume's up. Okay, good. All right, so yeah, before we get started on that, you can clearly see we might as well do a little market review here. This is now at 2 weeks. 2 weeks right here. This is now a 2 week, kind of an ascending flag with some minor pop down below that to this horizontal here. We did have some price action testing down here in this area, which was this high, and that's that horizontal zone. But for the most part, you can see our range has been kind of an ascending flag. And then right now, we actually have this higher level here. And that's, a lot of people are like, why is your chart so busy? Well, one, it's my chart, number one. I'm the only one that really needs to understand what's going on with my chart. And so I want to kind of give that to you as like an asset for you in your charting. Don't just start slapping stuff on there. Like, you have to understand what's on your chart and why. I put up a lot of abuse when I post my charts because I'll have a lot of, on some of them on Twitter, I'll have quite a lot of stuff on some of them. And so I'll get I'll get all kinds of abuse, and it's fine from quote unquote traders who don't understand, what they're looking at. Look, the only person that has to understand what they're looking at is me, so, and as I've told you before, on many things, I have multiple views, okay? Multiple views. I have charts that are cleaner and charts that are busier, so that I can get, without having to delete stuff or remove things from a chart. I can just switch back and forth. So I want to kind of give you that as a guide for you in your TradingView charts. If one starts getting too busy and you use that chart a lot, you don't have to do this with every chart. You can see on my list over here on the right, I've got a gazillion things on my watch list, and there's a reason for that. Okay. I don't have multiple views for all of those. That's stupid. Okay. I don't need to, but charts that I'm using all the time or that I'm referring to often, of course, Bitcoin, of course, Ethereum, or even some of your alts that you're constantly looking at, then, you may want to have, multiple views constantly, instead of, like I said, the reason for that is instead of constantly having to delete on a single chart and then add and delete and add and delete and continue messing with that, just set up multiple charts for that crypto or that altcoin so that you can switch back and forth. You can see I got Bitcoin over here listed many times, and that's because I have different charts on it. So that's pretty much a little guide there for you on that. On the daily, let's take a look at the daily real quick. And I did post a weekly chart for you guys just to show you how significant the pink zone is that we've had. But on the daily, you can kind of still see, you can see that flag pretty clearly, that ascending flag pretty clearly. And the question is, is Bitcoin going to go ahead and give us its next leg out of this ascending flag? By the way, ascending flags is unlike, an ascending wedge, where most people typically classify an ascending wedge as a bearish formation of price action. Ascending flags don't fit that same personality of price action. So just because you see an ascending flag doesn't mean that that's going to be bearish. It also doesn't necessarily mean it is going to be bullish. However, during bull markets, ascending flags break up constantly. So this can decide, and we talked about that, this can decide to just, this is a 2-week area now of support where there has been accumulation. We've seen the accumulation. So this can go ahead and go nuts from here and go bonkers, and I also talked about the obviousness of this area being retested as support. Let me pull that up. Anybody with a chart can see this. It doesn't take, so everyone's looking at this. Everyone has seen this, and technically a pullback to that level makes sense. It does make sense. It does. It wouldn't be bearish, and this would be a great spot. A pullback to that 25 would be a great spot to then transcend the next leg. But when does crypto do what everyone says it's going to do, or when everyone thinks it's going to do something? How often? I mean, it's rarely, so that's why I'm saying, for me, I would not be surprised nor hurt in any way, shape, or form for this to go ahead and rocket through this 4,600 gap here and be right into another major area. This will pull back in this area, unless there's some poor parabolic reason that it would need something for. All right, so let's talk about that for a minute. Yeah, let's say price action does, just jet up here. Okay, this is a long run. And let's say we get like a 2-day or even a day, I don't know. This just skyrockets up through here with almost little pullback, and then it breaks this. What would we need to think in our head that breakout is going to be? I'll give you a second. Obviously, you can't answer me. If you said false breakout, you're correct. Remember, and I'm actually giving you guys training in this. We're going to do our TradingView thing in a minute, but I'm kind of giving you guys some education. When you have long runs, so when you start a run from a long distance, and price has to run real far into a resistance, 99 times out of 100, that resistance is going to reject price, or if you get a breakout, that breakout is going to be false. It doesn't translate into, the real world where, if you got to break down a door, you got to back way up and run from a long distance, and bang, you can knock down the door. It's the opposite in price action. It's the opposite. Okay. When you have when price has to travel a long ways, by the time it gets there, there's exhaustion. Buyers start getting exhausted. Or if they break this area, buyers are exhausted because they had to run, the price had to run from so far. And so you get rejection versus, and this is why I love ascending price action so much in bullish trends. Because what happens is, you get price running up, and then you get price rejecting off of that. And then the idea is for it to establish some level of higher support. So let's do it this way. Let's actually map this out. I really want, this is price action that you guys can take with you and use on pretty much anything. So let me clean this up and let's make this clear. Let's just use this. Let's use Bitcoin as the example, and let's really map this out, because this is a concept you really do need to understand. People pay thousands of dollars to learn this stuff, and very few people know how to teach it. So let's go ahead and do this. So let's say within a very short amount of time, we get that skyrocket there. Let's use real stuff. All right. Here we go. And we get that breakout, man, and everybody's freaking out, I'm not freaking out. I'm not buying it. This is great, and we're going to make money off of this on our trades. We're going to hit targets. This is wonderful. I'm not buying that this is a real breakout. I'm just not. It's a long run, and if there's no pullbacks, between here and here, very little pullbacks, very little stalling, this happens like within a couple days, then this is probably either going to reject at the resistance, or you're going to get a false breakout and you're going to get a stupid rejection. So now what you want is you don't want, this puppy to come all the way back down here. Why? Because this is a new leg. So we want something from this to hold up as support. Are y'all with me? This is good stuff. I wasn't even planning on doing this with you. I was planning on just doing the TradingView training. So this is gold. You don't want price rejecting back down here. Why? Because it's the complete erasure of the new leg. Then, you don't want that. You want something from the previous area, to hold up as support. Bam! So it's why I don't delete old lines. This would be very reasonable. Something like this. I'm just giving you an example. Now, instead of price having to run this distance, look at the distance now. Y'all see this? Are y'all with me? And can it break on the second try? Sure, but how many times do we see that? Not often. It could be that this continues to hold, or many times you will see either a horizontal, and I know that line's already there, or you will see this ascending. This is what we're looking for, this ascending price action. And I'm going to explain it to you, because it's not about drawing. Remember, it's not about drawing lines. It's about understanding what's happening. All right. Ooh. Yeah, we'll make this big. Get everybody on the same sheet of music. All right. Now I need an arrow for myself. All right. Long runs into resistance, and you can use it. And remember that you can use this on multiple time frames. Okay. As far as what a run looks like into resistance, long runs, very, very low chance of actually breaking major resistance. Minor, possibly. Minor resistances, sure. But major ones, less likely. Okay, so you have to know what you're looking at and on what time frame you're looking at in order to be able to apply this. Okay, it's never a one size fits all. Okay, so you have to have an understanding of the time frames that you're looking at. Is this a major supply or demand level? Is it a minor one? And then what does volume look like at those areas? So you have to take all of that into account. It's not as easy as just drawing pretty pictures. So we got the false breakout here. You got that rejection, but you got higher support. So instead of price having to run this far, buyers have stepped in at this discount. Buyers are not willing to see price go lower. That's a great sign for bulls. You know, buyers are stepping in here at a higher support area, at a higher level of support. They were exhausted up here. And so profit taking started to happen, and then sellers stepped in, bears stepped in. The problem is bulls did not allow bears to take this all the way down. They begin to step in because this is a discount. So bulls buy what? Pullbacks in bullish markets. They buy dips. So the bulls step in here. But because of the major supply area that this is, sellers can continue to dump here. But buyers continue to buy on every dip at higher and higher levels. That is a good sign. And so sellers get exhausted. This is sellers getting exhausted and buyers willing to buy at higher and higher prices. Okay, buyers are willing to buy at higher and higher prices, and as dips get lower and lower. That's price action. That is why ascending pennants and ascending triangles are so bullish in bullish markets. So you have to know, if you're looking at an ascending pennant, you're looking at an ascending triangle, where is that at? Where is that located at? Because that's what gives it its power. And then all of a sudden, these runs into resistance are happening from closer and closer to resistance as the supply melts. The supply keeps getting soaked up. The more you tap into that supply, the less supply there is. The less supply is available. And therefore, on that, once that supply is there and the sellers are they can't even breathe, buyers run with the ball. They run with the ball. Y'all like that? Come on. That's price action, baby. You got to be able to speak that language before you just start throwing stupid stuff on your chart. If you can't do that, if you cannot do that, walk away from charting. Walk away. You have to be able to do that. All right. Enough shenanigans. I mean, look at that meat stick right now on Bitcoin. You got a bullish engulf right here. Right now, I would say volume's going to be at possibly a little higher. You know, that can change dramatically as the day progresses, but this is still reasonable volume inside. But all in all, this is still inside a consolidation. So, okay, guys, I'm going to stop teaching you guys charting and get to the class now. This was supposed to be like a 10-minute class. It's turned into something else. But hopefully you guys see the value and can appreciate the value. So we're going to do the right side. Let me see if I can't make this bigger for you by making the screen smaller. I'm trying to get this to look bigger on your screen. Okay. Hopefully you guys can see this well enough. So let's do, let me get this arrow out of here. We don't need that. All right. Right side. So first and foremost, not everybody has multiple screens. I have a giant curve screen, and then I have other screens here at my desk. So I'm able to run multiple screens. Not everybody has multiple screens. So if you look up here at the top, follow my cursor to the top, you can click on select layout, man, and you can slap, charts up here. As many as your eyeballs can handle. Don't get stupid with this. Just if your screen's not big, don't be slapping like 6 charts up here. Okay, but you can hit 2 and do a side by side and have a couple of charts up there. A lot of times, as I told you, you're always trading Bitcoin and Ethereum. So yeah, you can always have, you can keep a Bitcoin chart up. And just have one, even on one screen, you can have multiple views just on one screen. Just by coming up here, this is an awesome tool to use and pick 2. You can do top and bottom, one above, one below. You can do them side by side. I mean, you can see this. So this is a very cool thing that you can do, but don't overdo it. Don't overdo it. Okay. Let's go to here. Right beside you, there's like a little up arrow. You want to put this on autosave. The reason why you do this is because you don't want to do all this work on your charts and then get logged out or walk away or close out your screen. And you've done you've seen mine. You shouldn't have as many things on your watch list as I do unless you are very, very, very good and you know what you're doing. You're just going to get overwhelmed. But imagine doing a lot of chart work, having lines, having these areas on 15 to even 15, and then you back out, and then you didn't save it, or you don't. It's not, and you come back in, and it's all gone. Now you got to do all that over again. So just put the thing on autosave so that as you draw things, it's going to automatically save your work. Yeah, that's one of the first things you want that. So put that sucker on autosave right there. I don't really do much else in this screen right here. I don't really do a lot else. There's really not any reason to. Chart settings, I don't mess with this. You can change the color of your candles. I mean, there's things you can do in here. I don't do much in chart settings. So unless you're advanced and you really want to play around and you got skills, you can change the appearance. You can get rid of the little graph lines in here if you don't want the graph lines. Those don't bother me. They're barely even visible. I will say if you go to dark mode, you're going to see those. So I would get rid of those. If I was in dark mode, I don't do dark mode because I don't like it. But I don't do a lot. I don't do a lot there either. Okay, now let's see here if I covered everything. So that's the top bar there. This is how I take a snapshot of my charts. I just click copy chart image and then control V it into Twitter or on the screen. So that's like, copy chart image is like control C. It's like copy. It just copies it and then you can control V or paste it into whatever you want. Most of y'all don't need that, but if you wanted to show somebody or post it somewhere, that's all you do. You just come to copy chart image right there. You don't have to do anything else. I I mean, I don't even do tweet. I just post it in a tweet by doing the copy chart image. But anyway, most of y'all don't need that. Publish, you don't need unless you're actually going to be publishing that to your TradingView account because you want other people to see that out and use it. I don't really do much in the TradingView community. I actually started out doing that, but I don't. So there's really no reason for you guys to even mess with that. So let's go down into here. This is your watch list. You can name these anything that you want, but this is where you would create your watch list. So watch list. You can see mine listed here. I've got flashbang. I've got gold and silver. My grand slams are there. And then if you click on that, it's going to take you to, you can see the grand slams right there. Flashbangs are being added in there. I got some stocks, hedge trades. I do keep a gold and silver section. And then watch list is the one that has a lot. So I want to talk about why I have a lot. And I'll show you. You don't even have to see the names, but this is a very long list. The reason why I have a lot on here, and these are some of the top traded as long as many of the alts that I like, is because with one glance into one list, I can get an overall feeling for the market. We've talked about this before. I've talked about, what is Bitcoin doing? That is important. What is Ethereum doing? That is important. And then what is the relationship to how the alts are moving versus those? And you can't see that if you're just looking at Bitcoin, Ethereum, you have a couple alts listed. You can't see that parity, that relationship. Is there a divergence going on? Is there a convergence? I always thought it's very important that's one of the first things that I establish in the morning. Is Bitcoin running and nothing else running? That's important. Is Bitcoin running and everything's running? That's important. Is Bitcoin dropping or dipping or flat, but Ethereum is running and everything else is running? That is important. That is vital. That is money flow. You guys see me post this all the time. That is money flow. You got to understand that. And the only way to do that is from experience. It's what I call being plugged into the market and seeing the transition in the flow of money and how that's moving. Bitcoin oftentimes will run and nothing else will in a bull market. And then when Bitcoin's flat or dips, bang, you'll see money flow into Ethereum and Ethereum will run, and bang, you'll get some flow into alts. Like, you've got to be able to feel that kind of stuff. That's important. All of those things are important, and there's many different relationships. And the only way to know that is if I can, with one glance in the morning, scroll down this log and see. And it takes me just a few seconds, and I can immediately understand. And that's why you see me post things. Alts are flat. Bitcoin running, alts are flat. Or Bitcoin dipping, but alts are flat. Or Bitcoin flat, alts have movement or get meaty. That's me expressing that relationship. And that's important when you're trading. So that's why my list is that long. Now, you'll see like flags over here on the left, okay, on your watch list. So there's your watch list. To create a new list, I'm gonna go back to that real quick. Create new list, poo-poo, platter, save, boom. All right, I don't have any symbols in my list, poo-poo platter. So I'm gonna go back to watch list. On any alt or any item, you can right click. I'm gonna right click on AVAX. And there's a nice little pop-up window. In that pop-up window, you can put a flag. You can change the flag color next to AVAX. Right here, you can see there's a red flag. You can change that to any color. I just changed it to green just by clicking. There's pink. This is another way to, if you don't want to move it to a titled watch list, but you want to keep it on the same area. It's another way to separate or segregate or provide some separation based on things that you have in mind. But don't forget why you colored them. Why is this in red? Have a notebook until you understand. If you're going to have these, that this allows you to keep stuff on the same list, but still, you could say, well, this is an active trade, or this is a watch list, or whatever the case might be. It's just another way for you to differentiate between the stuff that's on your list. Do you guys understand that? But let's say I want to take AVAX, I want to add it to poo-poo platter. Then I would come down to add AVAX to right there, and I would click on poo-poo platter. Now, I can leave it on watch list and keep it on poo-poo platter. All right? I can do that, or I can remove it from the watch list by unclicking here. All right, boom, I just did that. So let's go to poo-poo platter, and there it is. Woohoo! We have our first item in poo-poo platter. Or to add to any list. I'm going to go back to my watch list, but you can do this on any list. Click this add button. Add symbol, and here you can type in TRX. If you want a specific pairing, you can go USD. It'll give you a list, and then while you're looking on the right, again, make sure you go to a big exchange so that you're going to get, like we talked about yesterday, you want something where it's being heavily traded so you can get an accurate volume profile. An accurate volume profile. So, things like Binance or whatever the case might be. And you just click on it. And it's always going to show up at the bottom of your list. So there it is right there. There it is right there at the bottom. So that's one way to add is right there. Add symbol. So that's why that's there. Now, right here, where it's got symbol, you can see the flag, you can see symbol, last, the amount it's changed, and then the percentage it's changed. This is going to be the dynamic that lets you order order these, put these in order. Let's say I want them by symbol. So right now, symbol, they're all alphabetic. All the A's, all the B's, all the C's, all the D's. Let's say I want to do it backwards and click on symbol again. And now it starts with the X's. XRP, XMR, XLM, the W, boom, boom, boom. Well, let's say I want to do it by flag color. I want all my reds. And let's say for you, I'm not going to tell you what mine are, but let's say for you, those are watch list items. Or you want, pink at the top. Or you want, it's just another way to do it, to have the flag. So then all your flag stuff will come first. I got a lot of different flag colors. That's for me to know and you to find out. Because I want you to come up with your own system of organization. Yours is not going to be the same as mine. So you can do that. If you don't like that, again, you can go back to symbol and do it. The other cool one that I like, I don't really mess with these two the most. The other one I do like, though, is percentage change. Because in one click, I can find out the biggest losers and the biggest gainers. Y'all see that? Percentage change. What's moving today? Bam. What's losing today? Bam. You got Vesper and Bax right at the top. So the only way I order in mine is by flag. I don't really do that a lot. I usually use the flag. I don't do it by symbol. I don't care whether they're in alphabetical order or not. But if that's what you like, because that's the way your brain works. And then I will do this a lot of times at the beginning of the day and throughout the day at different times. Why? Because I have to scroll to see this whole list. Y'all got that? Now, if I'm on Grand Slams, do I really need to organize these by percentage, change, or return? No, dummy. They're all right there. You can see them. You can see them. So, piece of cake. So, yeah. Your lists are right here. all your lists and then how many you have in each flag are all right here at the top. Let me go back to watch list. There we go. Again, right-clicking on these items is the way that you can mess with them. I can unflag this by clicking right here, unflag. Or you can just go right here to the left where there's no color and unflag it. You can change the flag. You can also organize your watch list in another way. Watch this. Add section. Bam! Now, I can call this section poo-poo platter. All right, so you see right under my watch list, I can create categories. Y'all see that? I got poo-poo platter. I can add another one down here. So it's how ADHD organized you are. We're all different. You can get as meticulous as you want to get. And then to delete that, you just be right up there. You can hit the X to get rid of it. Bam! Like the organizational in here is fantastic. So even in a list, you can organize, or you can just create a new list and subcategorize them by creating new watch lists. Like I love that aspect of it's one of my favorite things of TradingView. So you can instantly delete an item just by coming to the right by where it's at, and there's an X, and bam, you hit that X, it's gone. It'll be gone from your list. So that's very, very, very simple. All right, right side again. I don't mess with a lot of this. You know, your alerts are going to be listed right here. If you click on this, your alerts will come up. I've already shown you from the top, up here at the top, how to add alerts. But the rest of this stuff, unless you're going to be a community, like chat community, ideas and stuff, you don't need to get involved in this. I don't mess with it. I don't mess with 90% of this stuff down here. I don't do hardly anything with it. This is how to close that up. I am. So if for some reason it's gone or it's disappeared, just click on this. Don't be like, oh my gosh, where's all my stuff? Where's all my stuff? Like sometimes when you just come in because you logged in, that might be gone. Just don't freak out. Bam. Or you can know the secret door. Secret door. By dragging this over. Okay, so one click, and then you can enlarge this as big as you want or as small as you want based on your screen size and all that other garbage. That's pretty much it, guys. I tried to keep it as simple as possible. I actually gave you some training today, so I hope you liked it. I hope you loved it. But that's it. I wanted to keep this short. How short are we right now? How long has this been? I do not know. But anyway, love you guys. We're going to keep doing some of this stuff. I'll keep doing videos for y'all. And I think y'all like the training aspect, so we'll keep doing some training videos as well. All right, guys, until next time, here comes the boom. Hope y'all enjoyed this.